Assalamualaikum. Hi everyone. It is Friday, Jummah Mubarak. I hope everyone out there is doing well. I am just getting still a little set up this morning. So we typically stream on Instagram, and not only are we on Instagram, not only are we on Instagram, but we are currently live on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. So I'm so happy to be joining you this morning. My light just went out, so hopefully everybody can see me really well. That's what happens. So far this morning, all you've got is me. We don't have a guest at the moment, so you're just going to have to hang out with me this morning. But we've got a few things to talk about. Okay, first of all, World Hijab Day is around the corner. You do not have much time to prepare. It's nearly 1 week away. So tomorrow we'll have 7 days. And our conference is going to start, I believe, at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Make sure I got that right in my head, because I'll be preparing beforehand. So I have to make sure I tell you what time you show up, not what time I show up. So 9 a.m. Eastern time, and there are 4 sessions, and some of them might have multiple guests. There will be one host. I will be one of your hosts for one of them. So make sure that you mark that in your calendar, okay? February 1st should just always be in your calendar as World Hijab Day, and then you just get ready for any event that's happening, okay? Also, I'd love to know in the comments if you have an event to attend in person as well. You know, maybe there's one happening near you, or you're putting on one of those events. Now, if you see on the screen, we have a fundraiser happening, okay? So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. So, and I know you're thinking, fundraising, World Hijab Day is fundraising? Why do they need money? So the campaign is to stand up for Muslim students and help end bullying, because unfortunately that is something that still happens a lot in schools and things like that. And so far we've already had 2 supporters, and our campaign just went live, alhamdulillah. So our campaign is through LaunchGood. So you can see the link address below. So launchgood.com/World Hijab Day 2025. Easy peasy, easy to remember. So Muslim students in the US face a bullying rate 3 times higher than the national average. So that's quite a bit. So bullying has been a problem in schools for forever, right? So think about just like the non-Muslims and all the bullying that they've gone through over time, and we've seen results of that, especially in the US. So now think about those Muslim students who are bullied for, you know, like maybe there's a girl wearing a hijab, or somebody brings their lunch to school, it doesn't look like everybody else's, or just because they want to go pray, they're not allowed to pray. You know, sometimes bullying doesn't come from other students. Sometimes it comes from teachers, you know, not allowing students to pray and things like that. So we want to help combat that. So World Hijab Day organization is taking significant steps. So we're doing that by launching an in-person diversity and inclusion workshop for schools to tackle Islamophobia in September. So like we've done that. We did that last September. And when you go to the campaign, you can actually see photos of that. So we want to be as transparent as possible. We want you to know that if you do donate to World Hijab Day, that we are using those funds just like we say we are, right? I also, when I donate, I like to donate to transparent organizations. And of course, we do a lot of our donating during Ramadan and everything. But like I said, this campaign is actually live right now. So you can go to the website and check that out. You can see the impact we've made so far, what other people have had to say about it. So we need as much support as possible. So whenever you donate, there's a few different places that this money goes, right? So it goes for developing and hosting digital workshops, because that's really important, right? We can't always be there in person, right? Because all the people who work with World Hijab Day are everywhere, okay? So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ashley Prisman Khan. I'm usually your host, right? You know, you might have seen me on these lives. You've probably seen me throughout the years, and I'm in Canada right now. I used to be in the US, but now I live in Canada. And I do participate in certain World Hijab Day events in person and things like that, but usually online as well. And then we have people, in the UK like Shreen, and we have people in the US, people all over the world who are ambassadors, and they're doing their best, right, to facilitate events and things. But we can't always, we don't always have the manpower or woman power to come together in person to be able to do these. So, and then it's also, maybe there's some people who would be nervous to come in person. So digital workshops are really important. And, since 2020, online platforms have been even more important. So we're still using those very strongly, right? Some of the funds will go to curriculum materials for in-person sessions, because those do happen as well. And then also paying professional facilitators to lead the in-person and online. I almost said inline. So you can help us donate to the cause, or if you can't donate, help share it, because that will also help as well. Because we really, really want to make an impact and help stop this bullying from happening. It's really sad. I think at one point or another, a lot of us have probably gone through bullying, whether it's been, growing up at school and things like that. It's really unfortunate, but World Hijab Day is here to help in any capacity that we can, right? And I know that sometimes when you start talking about fundraising, people are like, I just don't know. But, even if you donate $1, $5, it doesn't have to be much. So the way that I always look at it is, we have, alhamdulillah, a great following through Facebook, some of you joining from YouTube and Instagram. And if everybody who joined the live or followed us just donated $1 or $5, whatever you're able to, it makes such a big difference. It really adds up so quickly, alhamdulillah. So if you have any questions, I'm going to be live for a few more minutes. Go ahead and drop the comments. I also want to know where you're joining from. Tell me where you are in the world. I love knowing that. I want to know what your plans are for World Hijab Day. Are you joining us online? Because it is happening next Saturday. Now, that being said, we're going to have a session next week. So let me just pull up that information so I make sure I give you the right date and don't say it wrong, okay? So we are going live for kind of a pre-Hijab Day, World Hijab Day conference on Wednesday, January 29th. And we're going to do that. It's going to be around 1 p.m. Eastern time, okay? So right now it's 9 a.m. Eastern time. So at 1 p.m. Eastern time, next Wednesday, we're going to have just kind of a little chat with some of our hosts, just to kind of give you an idea of what's going to be going on during World Hijab Day, and see our hosts for the event and just talk about, the different segments and everything like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to sit down with some of the ladies and talk about that. So I hope that you'll join us next Wednesday and next Saturday. So obviously, during the week you might be at work. So if you can't join us during the live on Wednesday, World Hijab Day is happening on a Saturday. So hopefully you won't be at work. I love that it falls on a Saturday this year. So we're going to keep our Launch Good campaign going. If you can donate today, that would be amazing. If you're watching right now and you say, yes, I can donate $5, that would be great. If you can donate later, because like February 1st, the first of the month, sometimes people get paid. They have a little extra spending money. If you could help us out, that would be amazing. You'll be helping students, and you'll be helping us be able to put on workshops to combat and fight Islamophobia. We've already had a couple of donors, and the campaign has not been live for very long. So alhamdulillah for that. Are there any questions out there? I really appreciate you guys joining me. It's so nice to see you guys. I feel so blessed to be able to get on here on my Friday mornings and hang out with you guys. I think it's so much fun just to sit and talk and chat with you guys. All things World Hijab Day. World Hijab Day is such a fun time for me. Unfortunately, this morning my daughter has woken up, so if you hear any background noise, my daughter is not happy. She usually doesn't wake up during this. Are there any questions? We have someone joining us from Afghanistan. Amazing. I think a lot of people during their evenings are able to join us. For me, it's morning. So let me see, is there anything else I wanted to talk about? I haven't even mentioned the theme. Do you guys know the theme? If you've been joining me on Friday mornings, or whatever time it is for you, our theme, I've been talking about it, is #hijabis unsilenced. Because unfortunately, sometimes people think that women shouldn't talk about these things and, just keep your head down. But it's really important. Women are in the workplace, they're out and about, and just think about the students who are in schools who are wearing hijab. And I've actually personally come across girls. I actually came across a girl once at a high school, and I think it was her and her sister. So there was just two of them who were hijabis. And I think like maybe the only Muslims in the school, from what I remember her telling me. This was a couple years ago. I was a recruiter for a university, and when I entered the school to come talk to the students about university, I saw this girl, and of course we instantly just had this connection because of our hijabs, right? And I think she was just so happy to see someone else wearing a hijab inside of her school. And I was still so new to Islam then that I was excited. So I think that this was still within probably the first 6 months I had converted. And so I got to sit down and talk to her about her, her career goals, and then what it was like for her to be Muslim in high school, be one of the only ones, not only in her school, but also kind of around the community. So I'm originally from Arkansas in the States, and there's not a huge Muslim population. There's a decent size Muslim population, but we're not, like super visible. And so for her just to see somebody walk in a hijab was pretty big for her. And, I think there were people who would make comments, and she would feel uncomfortable and just awkward because she was the only Muslim and only hijabi. And so these workshops, that are put on, help educate people so that they can understand hijab and Islam just a little bit better, so that they don't, fear it, or because people sometimes they fear what they don't understand, right? And so we're just kind of just trying to educate people so that they have a better understanding, so that they'll be more supportive. And let me think, I have to think about what year it was. Time is so crazy. So I think it was, I'm trying to remember if I was a Muslim or not. I think it was my first World Hijab Day as a Muslim, which would have been 2020. And it was before COVID happened, right? Because I think around March of 2020 is when everybody started going home, and they were like, oh, it's going to be a couple of weeks. So I was going to do a World Hijab Day event February 1st, 2020. And I was doing it in my city. So outside of a university setting, I like to try to get some people from the community who maybe aren't Muslim to come, but usually it would be, it would be Muslim women. But there was at least one couple and one non-Muslim couple who showed up, and they were just like, we want to know more about it. We want to understand. I think they had met some Muslims in the community, and they wanted to see, what they could do, how they could support. So there are people out there who are non-Muslim who really want to know. And I think with everything that's happened with Gaza, the people who have come who are not Muslim and learned about that have even been, they've been going to protest and things like that. They're probably going to be more intrigued and want to know more about Islam as well. And so sometimes people don't know how to stand up and say, hey, this girl who's wearing hijab, don't pick on her. This is why she's wearing it. And if they understand, they're going to be less likely to say, negative things. And it's not always hijabis either. There are male Muslim students who might get picked on as well. So that's why we're doing this fundraiser. I hope that helps with every question that might come up in your mind when you see World Hijab Day is doing this campaign. What is this campaign? So whatever you can do to help us. If you can share the link, we have all of the info. It's launchgood.com/World Hijab Day 2025. So check out the Launch Good campaign. Share the link on your social media platforms if you can. Share it with friends and family who are interested in helping us out, whether you're just sharing it, donating, anything. So make sure you mark your calendars, okay? Next Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, we're going live. We're going to talk about the upcoming conference, which is next Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And we'll go until about, I think the last session starts at 12. Yeah, 12 p.m. Eastern time. So if you don't catch that first session or two because you sleep in, it happens. If you're in the early Eastern time like me. But if it's evening for you and we go late and you even end up going to sleep, it's all going to be recorded. So catch whatever session you can. And if you miss something, don't worry, you can always go back and watch it, okay? So make sure you're following us on all platforms, Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. I'm live on LinkedIn right now, which is cool. YouTube, X. I call it X instead of Twitter. I'm proud of myself. And of course, Instagram. So if you're joining from another platform right now, make sure after you hop off this live, you go to one of the other ones. I just realized they're above me right here too. Facebook, Instagram. Oh, and is that Threads? I love Threads personally. Okay. Are there any questions? Let me just double check. Thank you so much for the comments. I appreciate it. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you next Wednesday, as well as next Saturday for our World Hijab Day event. And once again, that link down below, please make sure you share that. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.